Oh, Captain, my Captain. To the right side of the map, we have the TSL Captain. The channel player in the red, it is
TSL Polter!
TSL pulled indeed. He was able to win for his team. He was able to take down Brown, but now he is up against Coca. And this is a different story. This is not going to be an easy task for the captain of TSL. This map is known to be Zerg favored, and to the left side we have a Zerg player. He's starting for the Slayers team. This is
Slayers Coca!
There he is. He looks, I mean, he's breathing deeply here. But I think he's kind of telling himself, like, I can do this. Got this. I'm known for this.
Yeah, he looks definitely a little bit nervous. Tries to calm himself down. And this is, of course, always be the problem if you play in your first match of the day. As soon as you won a map, maybe two, you have a lot more confidence. You can just rely on the fact that you're already warmed up and everything. It's just way easier for you to approach a game. But now being up against Poles and having all the hopes of your teams upon your shoulders is going to be a big thing. He's scouting very well here. He's scouting immediately for some kind of proxy barracks before he starts his hatcher like this. Very cautious.
Very cautious indeed. We're going to see a command center first from Polt, by the way. Dropping it at 15 CC. There it is. Natural. So this is going to be a longer one.
We don't have a drone scout, so it's not like Coca is now trying to pull a symbol here, scouts his opponent and starts immediately with an additional hatch. We have him with the pool right away, and let's see how exactly Polt is going to approach this. He's known, I don't know, with Polt is sometimes a little bit weird. Sometimes he has this really kind of aggressive style where he tries to hit his timing with bio, and in other games he just sits tight for a while, tries to establish a third base, and then and you see the entire map is covered in creep, everything. And the only thing that is under Polt's control are 3 bases, and then suddenly he just pushes out, and centimeter by centimeter, inch after inch, he's just edging forward, forcing his opponent back. We've seen this against Lushera. It's just, I don't know, Polt is someone, you can never count him out in this matchup.
There are very few games where Polt will make a 4th command center. If he's taken a 4th base, he's probably lifting his main command center over to his 4th. And once he has 3 bases, about 10 to 13 Marines at a time coming out, medevacs and siege tanks, he'll only make 2 factories, won't make a 3rd. Never makes 3rd factory. Once he's got that production up, he will just attack until his opponent dies. Doesn't matter if there's creep there, doesn't matter if there's banelings there. His splits are as good as Marine Kings. His decision making as to when to start the attacks, as well as his multitasking with drops and things of that nature, make him so dangerous on 3 bases. You may never be able to get Broodlords out against Polt, and even if you do, he's not going to sit back and wait for them, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely true about him. We have the speed now coming up for Coca. This is a player who just recently all-killed in the GSTL. A very, very strong Zerg player. And he's now up against a very, very tough opponent. This is just a cool match. Both of them have a history where they were just in the recent past really successful. And this is now them facing each other in probably one of the most important matches that they had thus far. The GSTL Finals, this is where both these teams want to go, and I think this is already a small stepping stone. No, actually a pretty big stepping stone. If you want to advance and face FXO in the final, you have to win now.
By the way, Polt's going for a very fast 3rd command center here. No Banshees first, which he's quite known for. I'm wondering what sort of next step. Is he going to skip the Banshees entirely? Right now he's making his E-base kind of an interesting location. Going to kill that neutral depot so he can block the bunker. I like the bunker placement though, it covers the ramp, as well as part of the mineral line.
We have the 3rd base now coming up for Coca, and Polt is starting immediately with a double engineering bay. I don't think that we are going to see any kind of Banshee pleasure out of him. He will dump all his gas immediately into the double upgrades. He also needs Stim, he wants to have Combat Shield, and there's already +1/+1 being started. So, Polt with a little bit of a more passive approach. He's still building a few Hellions, but he won't try to do too much damage with them. Probably just trying to control the watchtowers, make sure that, that a Slayer's play here does not have too much map control with the third things.
Yeah, that's going to be very crucial because, well, let's take out that lane right there. It's going to be crucial because on this map, if you don't know where your opponent's run buys may come from, that's when they're going to be the most dangerous. If you don't have a bunker set up, you know, that's your problem. But even if you do have a bunker set up, you may need to send some of your forces from your attack back home. You may need to send some of your units from your natural to your third base right away. And if you don't, oftentimes you can lose a ton of SCVs, have to lift your command center. If you have to do that too many times, then suddenly you have like a 30 to 32% win rate for a race on this map.
Koga already knows, by the way, that we have a third base for Pole. He flew in with an Overlord and caught a glimpse of it. And Pole is currently, of course, behind in Harvesters. He has 37 only. But he's building 3 at a time, and he has the 3 mules. Oh, and the TSL player pauses the game.
Yeah, it's not clear at this moment in time what's going on. I expect a keyboard issue because it is proper etiquette in StarCraft to press PP in chat before pausing if you are in fact going to pause, and since he did not do so, it seems that it's probably some sort of issue with his keyboard. We'll give you guys an update as soon as it becomes available. Right now this game is pretty even though, and I would say that if there's some sort of crazy happenstance where we need a regame or something like this, I don't think either player will take a loss or anything like that.
We didn't have any huge fights. We have currently, I mean, we can still see in minimap and everything. We have the Zerg player being on 3 bases. The supply is 60 to 76. Pole is researching Stim +1/+1. At the same time, Koka already with double evolution chamber also going for the first set of upgrades.
A little bit behind, but it's not too significant because Polt's not going to be hitting too many 1/1 timing attacks in this game.
No, definitely he won't, because he's just trying to play safe with his third command center now, and he's building a lot of SCVs 3 at a time, wants to catch up in worker supply. So a very, very passive game at this point, and currently Paul just talking with the coach and the admins.
Yeah, just getting to explain to the head administrator here what's going on. And I don't know what has occurred just yet. It's because Polt's actually just explained to the admin right now. Nobody knows. He seemed actually, I mean, he had a smile on his face when he was talking to him, so it's probably some sort of funny happenstance. It's not something that's too big of a deal.
Paul is in general a player who can really adapt to all these situations. There are some people who get really agitated if something goes wrong, and it's very hard for them to get back into the mindset where they have this competitive train of thought in order to approach the match. But with Paul, I always have the feeling that he's taking things one step at a time.
Yeah, actually, that's well said. I think you're right in that regard.
That's, for example, something that Grubby always will do as well. Every single time his opponent, something just happens, for example, a technical issue occurs, he will just completely sit back, relax for a second, collect his thoughts and everything, and just don't care about anything else. He won't let an admin or another player stress him. He will be like, well, you guys had to pause the game, so now I'm just taking a breather here, and then I will focus on the match again.
Yeah, not the type of person to be stressed out by long wait times in the lobby, for example, anything like this.
He's making it work in his advantage. He just tries to make sure that he is calming himself down, that he is in the mindset to restart the game again. And this looks a bit like a more difficult issue. Maybe it's something with the sound as well.
Maybe sound, potentially something with his frames dropping. We did see the Golem Wizard make a brief appearance there, so it's definitely some sort of technical hardware issue, probably with the computer itself, or a software issue. Not Polt's hardware, but potentially the hardware of the computer itself. And I'm sure they're basically trying to determine whether or not the frame rates are skipping or why that's happening, if that's even the case. So he may not even get a warning here. It just depends. We don't have any information just
yet. We'll soon enough get an update on what exactly is going on. And
okay, so Polt's computer is dropping frames, lagging. We're actually going to restart the game and try this out again. So we're actually going to have a rematch here. Which very few units were lost, so this is a
No. We are not going to restart the game. We are going to unpause and see if it still lags, and in case that it lags and it's unplayable, then we will restart the game.
Someone told me the word restart. I'm like, the proper term is unpause. I'm like, I don't know. But okay, so we are actually just going to do it. They're starting the count on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Game is unpaused, and we're going to jump right into it.
Yeah, let's hope that everything is going to work out fine here. We don't know exactly what the issue was. Maybe they just closed a couple of programs in the background. But right now the game has been restarted, and of course Polt will let us know if he still has troubles. We're jumping back into the game, and here we are.
No warning or anything like this awarded to Polt, by the way. Just a brief pause, technical issues resolved. We're back at the 8:45 minute mark here. Overlord will come in and scout the triple barracks being added.
And of course that LATAC has also been started for him. 3 additional barracks, a lot of production being added here by Pole, and it looks like things are fine. He's taking down the Overlord, and so far it doesn't look like he has any problems with lag anymore.
Yeah, it seems like everything has been resolved. He is going out with these Hellions right now, trying to sneak by. His armory is finishing up just in time with this 1-1 upgrade, so he's going to be able to start 2-2 to continue to try to push himself ahead of the Zerg. Third command center being dropped. 5 barracks and total added for him here. He is going right up to that 3 base, mass marine, almost parade push type style. Not quite like the way SC Foyu does it, but a little bit different.
Well, this is a ton of production here, and this Baneling nest, and of course also the infestation bit that is currently on the production tab for Koka, these are going to be so important for him. With this amount of bio units, you definitely need infestors. You need fungal, you need infestors, you need banelings. If you don't have this, you're in big, big trouble. But the production rate of a Terran player on 3 bases with all these barracks, this is kind of insane. You have to be very careful that you don't lose your infestors, because the Terran player can at some point just send wave after wave of units over to you.
That's what Polt's going to do too. He's going to make a ton of reactors right now. You can see he's making 3 reactors for his barracks right now, getting +1 for his siege tank. Siege mode almost done. And I think this style that we see from Koka is my favorite style to see from Zerg. Just the fast infestors, skipping mutas entirely. If you need to defend against drops, you can use ground structures very well against this, and we'll see what Polt's going to do when he's going to move out, but he has already set up the infrastructure to really just put on the power, and oh my god, 4th base, 4th command center going up for Polt. He's not going to play this as he normally does, and this is not the map to play his style, I suppose. I mean, it's a huge map. If you're spending a lot of time rallying units across, you can actually just lose them to Zergling run-bys.
Cool move here by Koka, immediately cancelling those 2 creep tumors that he just tried to build as he spots the Hellions. Very well done there for the Hellions, not able to take them out. Creep tumors, of course, are invisible, but only when they are fully completed.
Yes. And when you cancel them, you can just remake them later. If you lose them, however, you don't get that opportunity. So
when I started at first with StarCraft, the very first games that I played or that I observed, I was always wondering why the opponents of a Zerg player would never take down the creep tumors. And I was like, this is so stupid, why don't you attack them? And I was like, oh, they're invisible. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
good old times, that beta was cool.
I remember one of the very first games of StarCraft I ever played, the Zerg hit a hatchery somewhere and wasn't revealed. And I was like, do I have to kill all of his tumors to win the game? I was like, that can't be. I'm like, the tumor's a structure. I'm like, I have to kill all of his tumors? No. I was so stressed out, but it turns out that's not the case.
That's nothing better than when you just learn how to play a game and how it works.
Yeah. Well, I was so used to StarCraft 1 where you don't even get revealed if you kill all the structure, so you're playing ladder, that one guy just doesn't like you, he just starts hiding buildings, and you're like, ah. Well, we have a sensor tower on the way for Polt, and he is really kicking into high gear here, double tank production.
In Warcraft 3, you could actually, when you were a Night Elf, you could hide a building and eat into the forest and hide a tree. That was annoying.
No, my friend who used to play Warcraft 3 told me stories about like how he would do this to people if someone cheesed him or something, or did some build that he didn't like, and he would just hide this structure, and he would just go and eat lunch. And sometimes he said occasionally, like,
can you give me your friend's address?
Occasionally he told me that they would just leave the game out of frustration because they didn't really care about the points that much.
I think you have to pay your friend a visit.
He probably played against you, man.
The queen goes down as Polt is now moving onto the creep. I'm on your creep, yo, and it reveals the tumor, takes them apart.
This is not enough units.
Yes, it is not.
Although he's going to send his Zerglings to defend, though. Decent fungal to start with, but he needs more, and the tanks are already in position. A lot of hesitation here
and here comes Koka moving in. The tank is already gone. Immediately goes for those Marines, but Polt is still on his creep, going for +3/+3. The Greater Spire done, though. Koka still on 200 supply, using the fungals here to delay his opponent's push, but he needs to be careful. The infestors are already low on hit points.
They really are. The Marines are getting closer and closer. Great fungals this time. The Zerglings run in. The Siege Tank's doing some extra damage to the Terran units. Even the Corruptors starting to work away at these medevacs. Needs to get those out of here. And I get surprised. I'm actually I'm just so surprised that he's not pulling those back. There he goes.
The circling reinforcements will definitely take down the siege tanks. There they come. Oh! Just running for a second, it really looked like he was just running by taking the damage, but no, he takes down the siege tanks, both of them nearly at the same supply. 3 bases for Paul, trying to establish his 4th, while Koka is on 4 mining bases and already getting a 5th base. The first Broodlords are morphing, he's going for the armor upgrades, but Paul is about to finish +3/+3.
Yeah, +3/+3 finishing up for him as he's continuing to push through this expired creep, taking out the last of the tumors that Queen just made. This creep is going to go away so fast. The 4th base of Polt is up. He's going to face a Zergling run by there, though. And he's actually going to have to cancel that. Actually, is that...
Another expansion now for Paul, but there are no Vikings on the map. He needs to be a little bit careful. Another base is being attacked. He doesn't realize it, and it's already burning. He needs to call on a mule in order to save it.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to save that. This is a very stressful position to be in for Polt right now, losing that base. Koka taking the supply lead again, losing more creep in the middle of the map. The Zerglings that are running around are just so annoying to Polt, and he scans and kills the Zergling to save the command center, and there come the SCVs to repair.
Just in time. Just in time to make this happen.
Well, that was stressful. Polt looks like he's going to go for a double drop. This is something that he can execute, but there are tons of spores everywhere. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You skip mutas and do this style. I think this style is so much better than mutas, and you have spores set up in the main base to stop drops, and even Zerglings as well. Then you don't need the mutas to shut down drops.
The Stroke would potentially do a lot of damage. If he is able to find some kind of opening in their defense, you mentioned all the Spore Coils, but if he's able to sneak past them, then he could do some damage here. On the other hand, with the placement of the Spore Coils, it looked like he's going to be fine.
It's perfect, you know, look at this. Well, we'll see it in a second as he flies in here. Spore Crawler is going to work. Every unit that drops out is being killed by Zerglings. And he's going to lose most of his Marines here. Actually,
no, there are not enough Zerglings. And yes, the Moivacs are gone, but at the same time, the main base is now under fire. So is the base to the bottom right. There's a lot of action going on as Polt is just dropping left, right, bottom, and center. There are way too many units. The Banelings finally able to take down the Marines and Marauders in the main base, but he's losing a lot at the 3rd. Koka is now down to 180 supply. Lost a fair amount of harvesters as well. Not too many, but still, this is a lot of damage dealt by Polt and a lot of action.
Yeah, a lot of defense, though, as well. He lost, you know, most of what Polt killed, actually, with this drop, ironically, was... Wait, don't make fun of me!
That is the best nickname ever. Oh, look, it's Pilt.
You know what a Pilt is, man? It's a kilt that Polt wears. But,
oh, a Pilt. But look at you.
But
this is Kratness.
What he... It is Kratness, man. But what he did was kill, drop defense structures, and then get out. But his opponent's maxed. We do see Polt making the switch into the double starport here, so he can make the Vikings that he needs. He's already got the infrastructure for the Vikings, but he lost so many medevacs, so he's making 2 more medevacs first. Polt is you know, he's almost maxed, but his army composition is not necessarily the best against what he's up against.
And both of them playing a very cool game here. This is actually very close and very exciting. Those Zerglings trying to run by and pressure Polt in the main base, but there are way too many reinforcements. Not in the same way. Definitely a problem for him here.
Yeah, it certainly will be. I'm a little bit concerned about the Viking production here. The Infestor count right now is at 5. He's not making any additional ones, so if he gets the fungals off correctly on these Vikings, with the amount of Corruptors he has out right now, he's got 14 Corruptors plus 11 Broodlords. It's going to be very difficult to make work. He killed the Spore Crawlers, but the Spines remain, and so drop does get shut down here. The 2nd Spore Crawlers have been remade up at the north.
And here's the job. Well, this time the Medivac actually gets away. Oh, wow, the Corruptor is coming in here, but a little bit too late. The Medivacs are already long gone.
Saves the Spore Crawler.
Oh wow, we have the Fusion Core for Polt. He's not only done with the Vikings, he's adding another starport and he's going straight for battle cruisers.
Have you noticed that whenever a Terran wins on this map or gets to the late game, this is how it has to be? There will be Vikings, there will be battle cruisers, there will be tanks on the low ground, and usually the Zerg will have to go into that freaky Infestor style where you basically, the mining bases start to disappear. You have to win every engagement cost efficiently. The best way to do that is to trap Ravens with fungals, use infested Terrans, trade energy rather than money.
Oversupply, by the way, I like it.
Indeed.
And you're right, this is something that we've seen a lot in the last few weeks. But here we have 213 supply for Koga. Koka. We're not watching Inuyasha here. Don't tell me you know what I'm talking about.
Well,
you don't.
no, not really, but I know what Inuyasha is.
Okay.
I've actually seen a few episodes when I was younger, but I never got into it. It was too hard to like catch up with the show, I guess. I don't know.
The army supply is 131 for Koka and 117 for Pold. And Pold has a Viking count of 7 now against 21 Corruptors. And there are also 4 Infestors. And here comes now Koka. This is a scary army. This is exactly the unit composition that most Terran players are afraid of.
That Commander died so fast. 84 larvae available to Koka right now for rebuilding. And wow, he kills all those Marines. Pold's starting to look like he may be in trouble here because, yeah, he's got the Vikings, but he doesn't have Seeker Missile. He has no way of dealing with this crazy Corruptor force, even with the Thor shots here.
He has to fight. He's being chased by his opponent. He has to fight here. There's the fungal. And now those Thors are in trouble. They're in dire straits. Thor 1, 2, 3 are already dead. And wow, the Vikings is dropping.
The Vikings are just nowhere near this army.
No, it's not even only about the Vikings. There's so many Corruptors. How are you going to counter this with Vikings?
No, yeah, exactly. He can't even close distance because of the Corruptors. The Corruptors are trying to fight the Vikings. The Vikings are kiting. Oh, the Broodlords do their damage. He's got so many Broodlings.
This is just way too much. Just look at this army. Still maxed out. 120 army supply against 95. But the anti-air, there is just no anti-air. 9 Vikings, not going to be enough. Not against 19 Corruptors. And of course, the 4 Infestors that we have. +3/+3 is being researched for the air units. Their planetary is dying. And Pold is losing base after base. Koka is gaining momentum. And he is killing everything in his path.
Yeah, he's not done yet either. He's starting to kill all of the orbitals of Polt. He's going to stop the Behemoth reactor research here. Uh-oh, and he fumbles every Viking. The Banelings rolling in. They're desperately trying to find a target at this point.
All of the Vikings, they are gone. He's starting to camp his opponent's production. He's right on top of the starport. And the Broodlords, they are going to town. They are having a great day here. They do so much damage. There is nothing to threaten them.
Nothing at all. +3/3 for air is about to finish as well. This time we saw Koka go air before Polt took the advantage, and even though Polt's doing some drop action here at the south to kill some drones, there's Infestors in play as well as Spine Crawlers, so...
It's a nice run by Polt, but it's probably not going to do the damage that he has to dish out
He
now.
needs to kill this army, and how is he going to do that?
This is the big problem that he has. Of course there are 3 Thors, there are a few Marines, but there are still 14 Broodlords and 12 Corruptors.
Well,
he's losing too much. He's losing a lot. The TSL bench does not look happy. They really feel with their captain right now. Polt is fighting. He is fighting a lot, but those Thors, they are not enough. He's trying to take them out. Once again, we have the Infested Terrans, but now the Broodlords are starting to gather up, start to focus down Thor after Thor. Number 1 is down, the second one dies, and the third one bites the dust as well. All of them destroyed. Oh god, Polt is on his last leg here.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out how to drop. He's got an island expansion floating over where the island is, but he hasn't landed, he hasn't killed the tumor. He's not even seeing a drop over there. He's got a planetary mine with 2 mules in the middle of the map, kind of randomly out there. He's got a planetary at the north as well. He still has mining, but his production is camped here. As you said, he cannot make anything without it dying. He's trying to hold up here at the top as if he's like in a nuclear fallout shelter or something, but I'm not sure how long he's going to be able to hold. He sends 3 drops out. The Overseer with all 8 of its eyes, got eyes in the back of its head, man. He knows exactly what's going on. All he has to do is defend these drops. As soon as he sees this, he sends Infestors, makes more spines at his base at the bottom, and this drop play should be shut down unless he makes a huge mistake here.
The supply basically tells the tale with 198 and a huge bank, 8,000 minerals, 3,000 gas. Against only 84 supply. Koka is in such a great position. This is way too much. Another nice fungal hits the last surviving Marines of Polt. The Terran player is trying to make this work, but he is fighting for dear life here. He might be able to kill a few drones. He even kills the hatch, but Koka, he doesn't care. He doesn't
care at all, man. And well, look at the Broodlords. Look at how much damage they're doing. 19 of them. The Banelings spin it up. GG.
Koka wins the match, and once again Slayers is in the lead. Did you know that Koga in Inuyasha was, by the way, a wolf?
Yeah, well, I know who Koga is, but like I never really I thought you were trying to like make some even reference beyond that I didn't grasp.
No.
I know about Koga.
Yeah, he's a wolf.
Yeah, I knew that. He and I have that in common.
This guy though, wow.
He did what he needed to do, man. He has Bolt is maybe going down with the TSL ship today as they are really out of luck for players. I think, like you said, it's going to be Hyun 100%. It's got to be Hyun.
The way that
For
Inori
ZVZ
looked on this map, just as, on this bench just a second ago, it might be Inori. I would be a bit surprised though, because, well, Hyun played so much against Zerg lately. In both his rounds at the GSL Korea, he had to face Zerg players. So this... Well, you might not want to go for the mirror matchup, but if you... I mean, who do you send... Do you really send out Inori against Koka?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, well, it's going to be... right now, I feel like everybody on the Slayers team is expecting Hyun. And for that reason alone, Inori seems a little bit tempting. But I don't like the choice here. Not when you're down in a score like this, not when you've lost all your star players. You can't afford to not send out one of your best players.
Alright, let's have a look. Where is our...
Is that Inori coming up right there?
I think so.
I think so, man. Oh, it is. It is Inori, man. They're doing it. You were right.
Yeah, not going for the mirror match. Nope. They send out a Protoss player. They have 2 players left. Inori and the mysterious 5th player for the team.
Inori cannot...
And actually, I think that, well, we didn't see Hyun on the bench, so he might already be in the other booth preparing for the 5th match. Or he's at the bathroom.
Yeah,
one of the 2.
Yeah, something like this. I don't know, but I think it would make sense for Hyun to come out last because they're kind of running short on players. You don't want... You can't put... They've already used their stars. I think there's 3 players they could have used last. It's Polt, Shine, and Hyun. Or rather, Polt, Shine, and Symbol, and all of them are gone, so it's got to be Hyun last, I think. We're going to take another 5-minute break. When we get back, we'll see if Inori can take out this Protoss.